In this episode, Keone has a question about the meaning of the equation that he and Sasha found in the previous episode. It may be a question that you have too. Keone poses the question while he and Sasha are looking at the work they did on the graph of the parabola to create the equation b equals the square root of 4 times y.
I have a question. No, but I was just wondering, how would we know what y is?
Oh, like if they just give you, like without if they didn't have the numbers there,
Yeah.
and it was just a blank. Yeah, so if you don't get y or x, can you find it without? No, because they don't give you any numbers. It'll just be variables.
Yeah. We have our y plus 1 and our y minus 1, or yeah. And then we have our b squared right here. But we don't know what our y is, so we don't know what to plug in.
Did you follow what Keone is confused about? In the equation that he and Sasha wrote when they used the Pythagorean theorem, and in the simplified version of this equation, there are 2 variables, b and y. Keone is puzzled because, as he put it, we don't know what our y is, so we don't know what to plug in. Maybe Keone is used to seeing equations with one variable, where you can get that variable equal to a single number. However, Sasha has a different idea, as you will hear next.
Like when we were making it, you were just trying to make us find the equation, not actually solve the whole thing, right? Like when we had the 7.5, but we didn't really know exactly where it was. Because that's what he was asking, like I don't know, you talk
It's
now.
because you did... Okay, so when we first started, you told me to do our little points here and just to put in y. But we didn't know what our x was either. And then over here, when we solved it, we have b equals 4y, but we still don't even know what our y is.
Right. Could you rewrite that b equals the square root of 4y or x equals square root of 4y, whichever one you want to use, back on the other sheet?
Yes.
Like, where does it belong?
Wait, where? Over here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah?
Well,
Just write it down. B equals...
you can just write it down to start with.
equals the square root of
4y.
4y.
So what is the
So
b? Is it a point? Is it a location? Is it a distance?
It's
The b is the distance between our y line and our point.
Can you show me with your...
Yes. So our b is right here.
Okay.
So then that equals, so our b equals the square root of 4y.
Y.
Okay. Now, does that help you in terms of your concern?
Well, it's because we still don't have a number to plug in.
It's plugging in that he doesn't get a y.
And that bothers you, that you don't have a number to put in. Okay.
Sasha and Keone have made some progress. They have figured out that b is this distance on the right triangle, and that it is also the square root of 4 times y. However, Keone is still bothered by not being given a number to plug in for y. Next, they discuss whether or not there is any value in having an equation with 2 variables.
If I just have this general formula, b equals square root of 4y, what does that do for me?
Nothing.
Nothing,
Because you can't solve it.
because you can't solve
Two
it.
variables.
What do you think, Sasha?
I agree. I mean, until you get one of those, you can't figure out the other.
But once you know one of them,
Yes.
Then you can.
okay. Now, are you still concerned, Keone?
No, I
He's just annoyed that there isn't a number to plug in.
I understand, but we didn't have a number to begin with, so I was just kind of confused.
So why do you think I asked you to do that? Why do you think I asked you?
To find the formula.
Yeah, why do you think I did that?
So we can use it for
It
future.
would, help us understand how to find anything we're looking for. So
So
to find this distance, to find this distance, to find this distance. Our formula would help us find either of those. Or, yeah. Or
What do you
this
think,
distance
Sasha?
actually right here.
I don't know. Instead of doing the a squared plus b squared equals c squared with the number, our distance from the point to the directrix, it just gives us the formula so you don't even have to know that. You can just plug in whatever y you have instead of going, like if you're at 100 and then it's like way down there, you don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and count all the way up. You can just plug it straight into the formula.
If you have a general formula, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you can just plug the 5 straight into that.
And you're done.
Yeah.
And you can find any x value and any y value.
Yeah.
Sasha and Keone have different ideas about how the equation b equals the square root of 4 times y might be useful. Keone thinks it will help you find the distances on the right triangle. But Sasha thinks that the equation helps you avoid the work of setting up the right triangle and using the Pythagorean theorem. She argues that if you have a point with a y value of 100, to use the Pythagorean theorem, you would need to count a lot of units on the grid to get from the directrix to that point. But with the equation, you can simply plug 100 in for y and solve for b, which is also the x value for that point. If the purpose of the equation is not clear, don't worry. Sasha and Keone will compare their method using the Pythagorean theorem with their new equation over the next 2 episodes.